son, that's all you have. And money, hey, you make money if you get a chance, even if you gotta sell out every once in a while. You make as much money as you can. Don't be stupid like your father.
Okay.
Everything is so much easier with money, son. Don't smoke.
They said money can't buy you happiness. But I met a poor man who wanted to be rich, but I've never met a rich man who wanted to be poor. To me, that would be the equivalent of a skinny person wanting to go on a diet. And before I give all you YouTubers fuel for your comments, let me address this real quick. Yeah, there are skinny people who diet, but they're known as anorexic, which is commonly regarded as an illness within society. But I digress. Yeah, I'm religious, but I never read anywhere where it said I'd be happy or poorer in any of the scriptures. They told me money was the root of all evil, but I had no response when I asked, but wasn't money created by people? If a farmer plants a seed and waters it, does he not take responsibility for its growth? Or would you now then not agree that you reap what you sow? My mother would say it best: son, money can't buy you happiness, but neither can poverty. And this was even more apparent when I spent 5 days watching her struggling for breath on a hospital bed, wishing I could afford doctors who could look after her better, or at least the place where the visiting hours didn't end at 8, or at least the place where you had to be less observant, not to hear the Asian lady who with each cough sounded as though she was closer to death behind the next curtain, to the point where my mum would look me in the eyes and tell me that she'd be following her soon, she was certain, or at least I didn't have to work so late. I only thank God she's still with us today. Money can't buy you happiness. Nope. But it bought the petrol which took us to court, where we sat very unhappily and my sister wept, cause we were only one lost piece of documentation away from being made homeless, cause we could no longer afford to pay the rent. Ask the beggar if he's happy sleeping on the pavement. The shopkeeper only smiles at the customer cause he sees an opportunity for a payment. I asked my colleague what day of the week made him happiest, just to see what he may say. His response was payday. Are you happy when the tax man requests his back? What about when you receive the letters full of bills from Postman Pat? Or with your insurance, TV, phone bill, MOT and road tax? But I was told money starts remorse, divorce and discriminatory laws, chores, discourse and obligatory wars. Well, let me address that topic. Is money the root of all these problems, or is the root of all these problems the lack of it? Now please don't confuse me to be naive or believe that my life will be better because I can now afford a pair of jeans with Levi's stitched on the back pocket. But I would most definitely be happier if I could afford to buy my family a house with that profit. Do not confuse human greed with human need. People go to war over oil because they want more. People kill the love because they feel they do not have enough. If anything, money is the innocent party in all of this. My verdict is that you can only judge the money is if the way a person earns it is dishonest or its uses is filthy. But all in all, sat in front of a jury, wouldn't that make the user of the money rather than the money guilty? Think about it. You know, the preacher left the mosque telling us that we didn't need to be rich and money shouldn't trouble you, as he adjusted the Rolex watch on his wrist and stepped into his new BMW. I was never unhappy as a child, although we weren't the richest, because my mother and my dad did their best to keep up their appearance. But what I always wondered was, did not knowing how they were next going to provide for their children ever make them happy as parents? But if you grew up in Wood Green, you would truly understand, because round here we never had no role model who was a rich woman or man. But you know what I did notice quite sadly? It was always the broke people who ever said shit like, look how much money he has, but is he truly happy? Well, unless you're looking through some other eyes, from where I'm standing I have no reason to believe otherwise. I know nobody goes to school for all these years, just so they can emerge as a happy student. Then they'll claim, look at all these celebrities that have money and they're unhappy. Well, let me be clear about it. I'm sure there's just as many unhappy broke people, but you just don't hear about it. Money is the medium by which earthly success is measured. Or maybe success is measured by how many people you bless. I don't know. But I know money is the reason Africa has a lot of respect for Bono. And I'm sure he's blessed a lot of people. And they'll say that we shouldn't chase money and make us feel like it's a desire of the pagans, but then after the prayer they ask for our donations. Is it the fear of failure that leads us to believe the desire for wealth is wrong? Money can't buy you love, agreed. But don't you love those around you to want to provide them with everything that they need? And I'm not advocating loving money, because only a fool would love an object that can't love him back. But if you love those around you, would you not persevere in your means to make their living better? And money is just an object. Don't blame it for anything. It's merely a tool, so it won't solve your problems unless you learn not just how to make it, but rather make it work for you. Because at the end of the day, even Michael went broke. And that's what I believe. But like I said, this is only my view. And like any view, one-sided it is, because it's that of a broke man. Hopefully this is only part one, and I can hit you up with the other side of it when I get rich. Peace, God willing.